So today we're going to be making hoisin prawn lettuce wraps, also known as mushu wraps. So this is a Chinese sort of side dish and main dish. So you can choose how big you want to make them depending on what meal it's going to be. So the ingredients we're going to need are mushrooms. This is 1 packet of button mushrooms, 1 onion, 2 carrots, 3 sticks of celery, about half a courgette, and water chestnut. So this is 1 tin of water chestnut. And then the sauces we're going to need are vinegar. This is rice vinegar, chili sauce, sweet chili sauce, hoisin sauce, parsley, a bit of lemon juice, and this is 1 inch of ginger that I've just sliced into matchsticks, and 2 garlic cloves. And then the main ingredient, which is prawns. But for this dish, you can choose to make it vegetarian by just not adding prawns, or putting chicken or tofu as a replacement. So to start with, we're gonna heat up our pan with 3 tablespoons of oil onto medium heat. And we're gonna go in with our ginger, 2 garlic cloves, which I've finely sliced, and we're just going to mix that until it gets a bit of colour, not too much. And at the same time, we're going to go in with 1 whole onion. So we're just going to wait until these onions start to soften a little bit before we go in with our other ingredients. So the next ingredient I'm going to add is mushrooms. So like I said, this is 1 packet of button mushrooms that I sliced into pieces like this. And if you can also use big mushrooms, but you just need to adjust your measurement accordingly. So I'm going to show you how I cut it. So I've got 1 mushroom here, and I'm just going to slice it. And then I'm going to cut it into small pieces like this. So the onions have started to soften a bit, so we're going to go in with our mushrooms. And once you add the mushrooms, you'll start to see that the oil is being sucked up a lot, so it's becoming a bit dry. So we're going to go in with soy sauce. I'm going to start off by adding about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. We can see it's becoming more of a wet mixture now. And the next few ingredients we're going to add are carrots. So this is 2 carrots that I've chopped up. So I cut it in half like this, and then cut each half in half again. And then I just cut it into quarters. So you end up with pieces like this. So with this dish, we need to cut all the vegetables to around the same size so they all cook equally. So now the mushrooms have started to become soft, so we're going to go in with our carrots. So we need to keep on mixing it and making sure it's on a high heat. The next ingredient we're going to go in with is courgettes. So this is about half a courgette. So I cut it into about 3 strips. And then like this across. Courgettes are optional, so you don't have to put them in, but you can if you want to. And then we're going to go in with celery. So this is 3 sticks of celery that I've cut into small pieces. So I cut it in half and then across. And we're just going to wait for this to soften a bit. So that will take about 2 minutes. And then we're going to go in with the sauces. So this is 3 tablespoons of hoisin sauce, 1 tablespoon of sweet chili sauce, 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, and 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon juice. So we're going to start by going in with the vinegar and the lemon juice. So this will add the sour flavor. And then we want sweet to balance it out. So sweet chili sauce. And finally, hoisin sauce. I'm starting with 3 tablespoons, but if you want to add more, then you can. So you can see the mixture is becoming more juicy, and you can see that sauce coming out. And our next ingredient is going to be peanut butter. This is optional, you don't have to add it, but Chinese people tend to use a lot of nuts in their food. So I'm going to go in with about a teaspoon of peanut butter, but this is optional. I'm going to wait for this to soften. So now I'm going to add in the prawns. So here I've got around 20 king prawns, deshelled and deveined. And I've just cut them into cubes. And if you're vegetarian or you don't want to add prawns, you can replace it with tofu, chicken, mince, and you can even have it just vegetables, which is what I made yesterday. But if you are using chicken, you need to cook that accordingly. So now I'm going to go in with the prawns. So these prawns should take about 5 to 7 minutes maybe. So we're just going to leave those here and we're going to check on them in a few minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to go in with parsley. I'm only going to add half because I want to keep some for garnishing at the end. So you can replace this with any herb, coriander. But I'm using parsley today. We're going to mix that in. And the final ingredient is water chestnut. So these are really crunchy and they'll make the whole dish go to another level. So this is 1 tin of water chestnuts that I've cut into cubes like this. Cubes or strips, any size is fine. Now, if you do want this dish to be spicy, you can add a little bit of chili powder or chili flakes or chili sauce, but I'm going to keep this mild today. Now we're going to leave this to cook for about 4 minutes now. So the way we're going to serve this dish is in a lettuce leaf. So I've got the baby lettuce, so I've just taken off a few leaves from there. And if you've got a big iceberg lettuce, then you'll get bigger leaves and you can trim them however you want to whatever size. So you can either eat them as a cut, or you can dip your lettuce leaves into boiling water and then they'll soften and then you can roll it so it's a wrap. And you can even serve this mixture inside Chinese pancakes, which is another option. And I've just got a bit more hoisin sauce on the side if anyone wants to dip it in there. And on top of this mixture, we want something crunchy. So I've got some sev that I'm going to just sprinkle on top to make it crunchy. You can also put crushed nuts or crisps that you can just crunch. So today I'm going to have this as a main meal. But if you want this as a starter, I'd recommend using the small lettuce. So you can really use it for any meal. Now I'm just going to check that the prawn is cooked. So the prawns need a little bit longer. So I've got the lettuce leaf here, and I'm just going to go on with a bit of the mixture. Like this. And then to top it, I'm going to go on with some of the syrup. And this dish doesn't have to be served hot, it can also be eaten cold, which I prefer. So here's the dish, mushu prawn lettuce wraps with hoisin sauce. And you can also sprinkle some sesame seeds on the top.